Hello Internet, I'm Dan.
And I'm Chaz, and this is Wine and Serious Business, episode 134. We're here with our friends Kevin and Rick. We are stepping a little outside of our box this time. Kevin and Rick are from Sonoma, originally Sonoma,
San Luis Obispo.
San Luis Obispo, and they have had a chance to try many of the wineries down there, and were gracious enough to open a selection for us today. So why don't you guys just say hi to the internet? And,
hi, internet.
Yeah. So, where do we go with that?
Yeah, a little bit about. Yeah, let's just say a little bit about what in the world of wine. We'll just say flavor-wise, or in respect to the wine itself, to start with, like what makes wine from the Central Coast special to you guys.
So, for me, it's the story behind the wine, and it's just the taste. It's what comes out of the bottle. The four wines that we picked for you are small wineries. They're boutique wineries. They do very low production. So they're really unique. They all come from pretty much different areas. We're starting out, the first one, Talley, is in Edna Valley, which is just right near San Luis Obispo. So
why don't we tell them about the wine regions within the Central Coast and exactly where we're at?
Okay,
sure.
Yeah,
you can.
What is the region Talley's from?
So
pour this while we talk.
Go ahead and pour. So the San Luis Obispo region is part of the Central Coast. So the Central Coast wine region pretty much starts in Santa Barbara County, goes up to San Luis Obispo County, and some people feel it reaches up as far as Monterey. I think that northern San Luis Obispo.
You can get into nerdy arguments about that.
Yeah, we kind of think that's more northern, but as far as I'm concerned, this is northern Paso is as far as it
So, and it's the soil there is very volcanic. There's the Seven Sisters in and around San Luis Obispo, 7 dormant volcanoes. So you have great soils. It's really rich. It's great for farming. It's good ranch country, and having the vineyards there was just a natural fit.
So there's kind of 3 regions we're representing. One being Edna Valley, which is the Talley.
Yep.
We have the Santa Barbara. How do you say it? San Ynez.
San
Ynez, which would be
Transcendence. And then Paso will be featuring one from Paso, and then a second wine from Paso. So.
Paso being the largest.
Right. So this is the wine that changed my life. This is Talley Pinot.
I can smell it from it being poured, even with the glasses there.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you again for having these. All right. Wow, this smells awesome.
So it's good. So, now we've been in Oregon for 4.5 years, close to 5. So I'll be curious to hear the comparisons of because it's Pinot, but it's a whole different region.
It is different.
There's definitely savory notes that I don't get on Oregon Pinot. More kind of like something on the grill a little bit, and just kind of tied in with the earthy notes. It's a little more savory, I think, than some cranberry too, which I think you get in Pinot Noir from a lot of places.
And like fresh strawberries too. I mean, the nose here is really, really delicious smelling. And the earthy tones are far different than Oregon, right? There is none of the funk associated like you get out of some Oregon wines.
Yeah.
This is like just sort of like dark earth, and then that's it.
Blackberry.
Right? And this is
it
smells awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
It's captivating aroma.
So I didn't get poured enough.
That's easy to fix.
There's always more.
There's always more.
Wow, surprisingly delicate on the palate. Like, just ripe. Well, I wouldn't even say ripe. It's more like young red berries, right? You got like that raspberry, strawberry, and super gentle, like structurally. There's very, very,
It's very
gentle and great feel on the palate. So.
Very gentle. So the Talleys were one of the original farming families of Edna Valley and Arroyo Grande, and so they just gravitated towards growing the grapes, and it became a sideline, and now it's like their feature thing. So it is. I mean, that's my feeling, is that it's a lady in a bottle.
That's where we live too.
It's very delicate.
Very delicate, very feminine, very elegant.
We live right behind this vineyard. It was 5 minutes from our house, so that's kind of when he said it changed his life. It's because we discovered wines when we moved there, and that was
what a way to discover wines.
Yeah.
Killer. No, it's getting like a neat like a red apple component. Like I very rarely get that on wines, and this is it's like red apple skins or something there going on there too that adds just a little bit of freshness. It's delicious.
Full acidity right from the start. It's not something that like settles in the back end. I think it comes in right away. A little bit of peel on the lime too, but just good, clean acidity that keeps things bright. I'm really happy with it. What's really getting me excited though is there's this huge burst of like dark fruits after you swallow, like kind of on the finish. There's this big bloom.
dark.
Yeah, like
There's a lot of
blackberries
liquor.
and plums, and they last for a long time. So I love it when stuff catches me by surprise like that, and I love it when it sticks around with such good like kind of balance and delicacy like that. It's pretty exciting. I've never had anything like it.
Really?
Yes, this is unlike other California Pinots I've had. This is a very fresher, like less extracted. This is a very elegant expression. So, thank you.
Yeah,
That's
no.
awesome.
Yes, that's what we poured in.
They do a great job. I mean, I have to say.
But they are, that's one of our favorites, so.
Yeah.
I would go as high as 92 points on this. This is really good. It's delicious.
And we're
It's-
right matched up. There's a little bit of oak on this, right? Just
Yeah,
probably.
there's a little bit of oak.
But just very well used.
Yeah. Yeah, and when we
And
talk,
this is young. This is an 06. And is this the 06? No.
07.
07. This is the 07. So I mean, this is fairly young. It's got some more time left.
I totally believe that with that acidity, and there's so much balance already that I think this is, this would be good now, good later,
Smoking.
delicious. Yeah, 92 points for me too. This is easily the best California Pinot Noir I've ever had. So
great.
Thanks for
Oh, that
sharing.
makes us feel good, thank you.
I would say that as well. Or on par with other expressions that are different than this one, but yes, like from this region, easily one of my favorites. Easily the best one I've had is as long as I can remember. I would have to pull up notes to find another wine.
They do a good job, and it's every year. This is their single vineyard, so every year it's excellent.
And
I
you
can see
go
why
back
you
and you
like
still
it.
taste their regulars. That's one of the reasons we were excited about this show. Is not only did these guys live there and like spend some time getting to know it, like you still visit and taste regularly. So
Yeah.
We were just there last month.
this is like really like local experts on this region that Chaz and I know nothing about. So it's really cool. What would you like to drink next?
Let's move on to the Syrah.
Okay,
So the backstory to this
a little rinse here. Okay.
is we were out wine tasting in Paso Robles. This is
Great story here.
up in North County, as they call it. So we were up wine tasting. One of our favorite vineyards was L'Aventure.
Yeah,
And
good stuff.
we went to go there, Stephen Ross, and we went to go there, and they were closed.
They had a special
And-
or something.
No, they were doing like their accounting. They were doing an inventory of the wines.
Okay.
And we approached, the guy came out and said, "Hey guys, Kevin, Rick, we're closed today. We're doing inventory, we're doing all the accounting stuff, getting ready for taxes." And they said, we're looking forward to tasting. He said, "You know what, go up the road to our friend Terry Hoage. He's doing some great stuff." So, never heard of the wines, never been there. And so we drove up the road.
It was a dirt road,
Oh, yes.
like a half mile up a dirt road to their place. And she was
And
there.
She was there. Jen Hogue was there, and it was just a shack. And there was a wingback chair and a little coffee
It's
table.
not now.
And,
It's very
and
different now.
they didn't
about
really
8 years
have a
ago.
true tasting room, but she was there. We went in, and she opened up. At the time, they maybe had 2 or 3 wines.
And explain who the husband is. Terry.
So. There, now I can have some wine in the glass.
Yeah.
So Terry Hoage was a defensive back, played for University of Georgia, and then went on to the pros
Okay.
and played for Philadelphia Redskins, and I think he got his Super Bowl ring with the Redskins.
Wow.
We were just
Impressive.
joking like 10 minutes ago how we wouldn't end up talking about football.
I know. Who brought up football?
Yeah.
So, wine was always the passion. Jen was from New Orleans. Her family has a long line of restaurants, and they just gravitated towards wine. They moved to that area, and I think it was 02 when they first started. They had their first vintage and bought the property, and they became good friends. When we lived there, we'd go regularly. We watched them grow over time. Now they have a beautiful tasting room. They've got like
Awesome.
2 or 3 people pouring. And again, very, very interesting. I'm curious to hear what you say about their wines.
All right.
Because for them, it's a passion. Terry's a
Is
great
this the Syrah?
farmer.
And I have.
Jen has her hand in the blending, and this is their Syrah. It's called the Hedge.
Yep, 2008.
All right.
And I love Syrahs.
Is that your favorite?
What am I?
Syrah?
Yeah.
All right.
I've always liked Syrahs.
Great earthy sense, earth and blackberries.
It's earth dominated.
Yeah.
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 Like chopped mushroom thing going on a little bit on the nose.
Paso gets a lot warmer. Gets really hot in the summer, where Arroyo Grande down at Edna Valley, where Talley was from, stays pretty cool year round. It doesn't really climb
It's
out
closer to the
70s
ocean,
or
yeah.
80s.
Right.
Yeah, this is close to the ocean. This is inland by about a half hour.
I mean, in the summertime, it gets up in the hundreds.
Okay.
Low hundreds here in Paso. So
Yeah, weird. The nose here is like it's dominated a lot, mostly by earth aromas, right? Like the fruit
really
is
cool.
definitely behind in the background, but yeah.
Touch of something brighter, like maybe a little raspberry around the edges or something, but definitely, yeah. Dominated by dark character. Great mouthfeel right away. Wow, all the way across the palate.
That is seriously like silk on the
So
palate.
well integrated right now. Oh my gosh.
So I don't know if you're are you True Blood fans?
you like it?
I don't know anything about. I know
Do you
it
know
exists.
True Blood?
No, I've never watched it.
Alright.
Sorry.
So for me,
Yeah.
this is a wine for vampires.
Nice. Nice.
That's
Yeah.
it is.
So if you're watching, show him some love. Like, if you watch True Blood, put that in the comments. It'd be good.
This is your V.
Yeah.
Alright, it's your V. So
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
good, yeah.
they're so, they're just real genuine people. They're genuine about their wine, very meticulous how they do it. And so they take good care. 08 was like a stellar year
Explain the
for their
van.
vintage. I don't need to explain that. Either you're a True Blood fan or you're not.
Yeah.
It doesn't
They'll
really
know.
matter.
They'll know.
But it's red. But it's red, and it's
I get like these earthy components right away. Like the earth flavors are what started out for me, but they're light and really enjoyable right away. And then I'm getting like these dark cherry skins, like the smooth outside of the skins, and then the bright fruit comes in later, and I get like some blackberries as well. Man, some sour cherry, great complex full fruit that just sits in the back of your tongue for. It's still going. It's still going.
The way this touches down and then runs along palate is absolutely amazing. Like honestly, this is the initial touchdown. There's so much weight that I'm like, your initial reaction, at least to me, is like, man, this is going to be an extracted mess. And then you start to taste the flavors, the earthy and fruity flavors. But the way that this finishes is so clean and so like the acidity just is so perfect. Like this is very well balanced, very well integrated, and I love the full intensity that is able to pull off a sense of freshness at the same time, right?
Yeah.
There's no, my palate attributes like that much weight to like something that's going to just be overdone, and there's nothing overdone about this wine. It's just balanced and delicious and
Want a cigar?
quite. Yeah. No, this is hedonistic in the best sense of the term. This is seriously delicious. And
they do a great job.
excuse me. I don't even know how to score this. This is probably one of the best Syrahs I've ever drank in my life.
It's up there.
Honestly.
It's up there for me too. Yeah.
Probably
Oh, really?
95 points. I'm not
Oh,
kidding.
we're doing good
This is
then.
Oh, you're ridiculously
no,
good.
this is
Are we?
this is awesome. Like honestly, like this is absolutely delicious.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
don't know nothing
go.
else to say about it.
I'm gonna go with 93 plus. Being behind Chaz makes it tough there, but
He said 95.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's right in line with what I like. I mean,
man, this is good stuff. Yeah, this is fantastic, and
is that the highest I ever scored a red wine on the show?
it's
I
entirely
It's
possible.
pretty high.
It's
It's pretty
no,
high
really?
for you. I don't recall you going that high.
Yeah,
No, I love it.
it's really unusual. Yeah. And
It's just-
when did you become this excited about them? From like day one, that first taste, we were like, oh
That-
man,
that
I
first
got
day-
really.
first
The
time
first
yeah,
time
we
we
were
went
like-
in and
We both went.
Sorry, Loventour, we forgot about Loventour.
Yeah, long term, it gets all
Sure.
publicity.
From that point on, we always bought their wines, and the Hedge is a play that they had when he played football.
Okay.
One of the football plays they had. But from that moment, we tasted this, and a lot of what makes the wine is the story and sitting down with the winemakers and getting to know them and the backstory. And as they talk about their wines, not only do you taste it, but you hear the passion in their voice and their commitment to. If they're going to make wine, they're going to do it right, you know, and they're going to make it pretty damn good. So, and they're both foodies.
Sure.
Jen and Terry, so they want wine that they can enjoy food with, and I don't know. From that point on, it became one of our all-time favorites.
That's rad. That's
Yeah, and
amazing.
you got history, and after tasting this, I can totally see why you're excited to see what they're up to every single year.
Yeah,
You go down. That's pretty great.
We were just there, we stopped there last month, didn't we, Kev?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was one of our, again, our stops were all these, because our favorites.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
That's why we wanted to share them.
Thank you so much. Yeah, they're fantastic.
that's really good.
What's wine number 3?
Ah,
so wine number 3,
Maybe we should have done that one last.
no, there's a little story.
There's a little story.
'Cause we become very good friends with him, too.
with the winemakers. So years ago, I was reading an article in House and Garden, and they were talking about some cutting-edge winemakers down in Santa Ynez, down in Santa Barbara County, who all worked for the big houses. You had Chris Curran, who was the winemaker at Sea Smoke.
Okay.
You had Mark Crawford, Joey Gumer, and there was another guy, and I can't remember his name. There were like 4 or 5 winemakers, and they wanted to do their own thing. So they bought space behind.
But they didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah, they
These
didn't
are-
have a
these
lot
are-
of money.
these
They said, look, we can't afford.
People
Each
that
of us
just
have
wanted to-
equipment. We can't do this on our own. So they rented like storage units.
Literally
Like
storage.
co-op sort of thing.
Yes.
Or up behind
Literally
Home
storage
Depot.
units.
They knocked
Wow.
out the walls. They shared in the equipment, and they started doing their own thing.
That's a big, like, totally bare bones facility.
And it was
So, yeah, it was pretty
yeah, it was
good
about
storage
storage
units.
units
Yeah, storage, and that's what we loved about
in
it.
Lompoc, California.
Right, and you discovered them in the storage units too.
Oh, we were-
So
yeah.
well, I read this article, and so I tried to call them. I
Weekends, they
wrote
would
them,
open the storage units.
Nice.
and they called it the wine ghetto.
Sure.
And
It's called the one, yeah.
there were all these different
And you could go to
vineyards that were there that had like these makeshift tasting rooms
in the
storage
in the
units.
storage units. You go from
Palmina,
one to one.
if you ever go there, I think it's Palmina wines, Italian varietals that come from the Central Coast and around Santa Barbara County. Kathy, I can't remember her last name, but does Fiddlehead Wines. She sources a lot of her fruit from Oregon, and then takes it down there and makes it. She has a little tasting room.
Okay, I think I've heard of that at least.
So I met Joey Gumer. He was the one person who answered my letter, and he said, "Yeah, I'd love to share the wines. Come on down." And at that time, he was a partner in Kenneth Crawford Wines,
Okay.
which
And it's all-
delicious Rhone varietals. They had, between the two of them, they had access to some of the great vineyards of Santa Barbara County.
But it's definitely off the beaten path. You
It
have
is
to-
definitely off the beaten path. So Kenneth Crawford, stellar wines. They had what sold me is I bought a bottle. It was called a Bluefin, and it was a Syrah. And it was their first vintage. They went out. They were trying to figure out what to name the wine. They were drinking the wine with sushi.
Sure.
And they had bluefin tuna, and they tasted it, and it paired so well with the tuna, they said, that's it.
Wow.
This is bluefin.
Nice.
So I fell in love with them then. In the last year or two, they dissolved Kenneth Crawford,
Okay.
and Joey and his wife branched out on their own, and they had Transcendence wines. And Rick and I stayed in touch with Joey and his
Yes.
wife Sarah.
And we were just there
Yeah.
last month visiting them.
We were there last month, and they have a new tasting room in Lompoc.
Not in the storage units anymore.
Not
They-
in the storage units.
Good
They
for them.
broke out on their own.
Yeah, no doubt, yeah.
And,
So it's a great story, and
and
they
he's done it, and
Yeah.
his wines are incredible. We think.
yeah, they're amazing. So this is a Grenache blend. It's like 90% Grenache, and it's topped off I'm trying to think what it
Yeah,
is.
Syrah. It's like
Oh,
almost
54,
50-50.
almost 50-50, 54% Grenache and 46% Syrah.
Okay.
And this is Larner Vineyard, and it's a great vineyard, has a long history, and they just do a great job. The name of the wine is Parea,
Yeah.
which is Greek for a gathering of friends to talk about philosophy, ideas,
And
and
he's,
friendship. So
Nice.
I think that's wine in a bottle.
and he's another young
It
guy,
really
probably,
is.
probably in his, what, late 20s? Early 30s?
Hill, thank you for that, yes.
The owner, it's just great to see these young people.
Yeah, I mean, he has the vision, and he and his wife, they are pouring everything into Transcendence right now, so.
Awesome.
Great complexity on the nose right away.
Yeah.
Getting like tobacco and a lot of herbal notes, kind of like some maybe like rosemary and basil or something like that.
Yeah, the herbal notes stick out. Now
A
that
bit
you,
of
now that you
This is,
mentioned it,
and
yeah.
this is young,
Pepper.
but
I
this
taste
is his
pepper.
first vintage of this wine, and so I really wanted to share it with you, just to give you a hint of what Joey's doing.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of dark earth, tobacco, wouldn't go with like there's like a sense of richness here, but it's not like there's no sweetness to it. Like, so
Yeah.
pipe tobacco would be sweet, like this is just sort of almost like cigar tobacco, right? There's
Yep.
like a
Yeah.
rich
Oh,
component
definitely.
to it.
Yeah.
And then another one where the fruit, this one isn't as far back as with the hedge, but this one, the fruit is definitely playing a little bit second fiddle to the herbal and earthy notes in the nose.
It's
which-
more subtle.
It
It's
is.
not-
And yeah, it's super enjoyable, like very complex nose, as Dan said.
A lot more fruit showing on it, I guess, from the Grenache. That's not a huge surprise. I'm getting
Yep.
kind of like really like raspberries on the darker side of them, but like good ripe raspberries that settle in on the sides of my palate, and plenty of acidity along the outside too. It's interesting, not so much in the center, but still a good amount of acidity there, and kind of like some floral things that like linger on the finish. Maybe sort of like roses. I'm still so bad about flowers. I don't know anything about them.
Talk to him.
But, okay. So,
Oh, but I know flowers.
all right. Well, maybe. Did you get anything rosy on it at all, or is that a little?
No, see, I didn't get, did
Okay.
you get it, Kev?
This starts off like I get the raspberry notes that you're saying here, but man, well, not as silky as the hedge. Like the intensity here is still very, very nice, and the mid we talk about mid palate length from time to time, right? Like this, it still feels very much like you have wine in your mouth after you've swallowed this. Like there is that much brightness and intensity still
there.
on the tongue, right? Yeah, it's still there, big time. Like I'm still tasting like ripe red berries.
Good texture on the tannins. They've got like some heft to them, but they're not too much and they're not too grippy. You just feel them from the mid palate. I think that's part of what lingers, or what contributes to that sensation of it lingering long, is that the tannins stick with you,
Right.
but without being too green, without being too sharp, and they
No, not at all.
kind of blend in well with the fruit, which I like.
It's gonna age really nicely.
I can
I can definitely see that. Yeah, this is definitely coming off a little young now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's
Yeah.
still young.
Yes, because the tannin, like Dan was saying, there is strength to the structure here, but man, the amount of fruit that we're talking about here and the complexity and levels that are going on are just wonderful.
What year was
Another
this,
great
Kevin?
wine.
So nice.
Oh, 9, okay.
And I'm also suspicious, since there is some of that body on there. Oh,
Kevin,
where is that? Where is
I
that?
don't know, that might be me.
Oh, okay.
Grab it, Hill.
I'll show you.
That's fine.
Sorry.
No, that's
That's
is
part of it.
We aren't even in trouble yet. We aren't even. Is that all good? Or we can cut it
Yeah.
out. We can cut it out.
No, Hilton Grand Vacations. I must have won something.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm pleased that you love it, because I love Syrahs. That's,
Yeah.
you guys
that
know
is
that.
that is a killer Syrah. Right?
And then this, where you temper it with a little bit of Syrah, with Syrah, the Grenache, is really forward. And then with the Syrah, it's...
Do you think it's where the structure is coming through so much as the Grenache, or
and I think
I
that
do.
there's.
yeah?
I think that there's some structure here, like some of the weight on the palate, I think is coming from alcohol, and I want to say that like this is a good example of something that I talk about a lot when people get caught up in percentages. I suppose maybe we should check. I might look like a dummy here talking about it, but I think it's a little higher, but it's integrated. You're not getting the
14
burn.
now.
Yeah, it's not disruptive.
No,
This
it's
is
not.
like the case where if you throw out stuff that's 14.5 or higher, you're making a mistake, right? because it shows up as body here, but it's not burnt, it's not disruptive, it's not off balance. It's still totally approachable and delicious.
Right, because there's no, a lot of times alcohol will create dips in what you're tasting, right? It'll like overcome your sense of taste and drown out certain flavors. There's so much intensity to the fruit here, and the way it lingers on the palate, there's no loss, right, from the alcohol. And I didn't know, I didn't sense that it was that high, personally, so.
It's just a great juicy plummy note from the Grenache too, man.
It's good.
Yeah, really good. 90 plus for me. So I think the tannins need to relax a little bit. The acidity is definitely on the fuller side for me personally, but I should go 91 plus on it, or 91 points. Just the amount of flavor. I love the mid palate. When a mid palate length is able to pull off like that much intensity and for that long, so that's I love that.
Give it a little more time.
Yeah, so 91.
It needs time.
It does need time.
It needs time.
Yep, 90 even for me, which is still, yeah, still rock solid, delicious. I will enjoy drinking more of that when this show is over, and definitely upward potential as this sits in bottle for a while.
Absolutely. All right. So
He was young, but I'm excited about his wines, and it's just new coming off Kenneth Crawford. So I
Yeah,
wanted to share it and say, okay, this is the potential.
I see it. I would definitely be excited.
So
about
wait,
trying-
time to give it the wines we picked?
Oh man, she's, no, this is
you're blowing it out of the
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, every single one of these guys, I will be looking forward.
I
to
hope
trying
this
them.
one is good because this is probably one of my favorites.
Right.
Chateau Margene.
When did you realize that? Was this like right at the same thing, like first taste? Like these guys have it.
It was kind of like, yeah, it was
All
kind of
right.
like the first time we went there.
Love at first taste.
Love at first taste,
Yeah.
and it was like, how did we discover them, Kev? They're on the east side of Paso Robles,
They're out.
and they're way out there.
They're way out there where there's heat.
The heat
Okay.
and a lot of warmth,
It's hot.
and they were out there by our friends lived out there.
Yep,
Was
our
Mike
friends.
and Jim.
Mike
They're
and
the
Jim
ones that
lived
told us
out
that.
Oh,
Yep.
all right.
And
They
so
were
we,
institutes.
I think so, and then we
Yeah.
went down there, and so we went there, and I fell in love with it. and,
Wow.
and Chateau Margene is named after her. She is
His wife, Margene.
Margene, and she's just a beautiful woman, absolutely, and just classy. And we got to know them both, and we went to a wine event there when we were down there last month. We hit all these, and they had a wine event, and we reconnected with them again. So it was just
Awesome.
one of my favorite wines. Wineries.
Drink your rings. Let's get into this. Yeah.
And I didn't
Who wants that?
get into that in context too. Like how long have you been into wines from the Central Coast? Did this start in like 2000 or was this?
2001 when we moved.
2001.
Oh, okay.
So
When we moved there.
I'll be honest. I mean, we moved
We
from
had
Utah,
no idea.
where we didn't have any idea except going
About
out
wines.
to restaurants and letting
Yeah.
the sommelier pick the wine,
Right.
or
This-
read the menu and say, oh, this wine pairs with it. Oh, okay, well that's what we'll order. We didn't know anything. And then when we moved to the Central Coast, we were in a small town. There were all these vineyards. You walked in and the winemakers were right there.
Which was nice.
So-
that's always a cool feeling.
It's not like
It's a
Napa
cool
where it's so
feeling.
big and sometimes impersonal. To me, this we got to
Absolutely.
know.
And in each
Yeah.
case, they were all excited about sharing their wines.
Right.
A lot of them made a big sense. You know?
Yeah, like Talley
Talley's
was in a
pretty
little
big.
adobe house
And now they
and
moved into it.
where they could accommodate maybe 4, the max 6 people.
Wow.
Now they
Tiny.
moved into
Now they built a big tasting room beyond the adobe house and beautiful circular.
They're not so
tasting
small
rooms.
anymore.
They're not so
They're
small.
not so small anymore. They
A little
were.
money. Well,
But
and
it's-
rightfully so. They're
And
wines
rightfully
delicious.
so.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They have a second label, Bishop's Peak.
Okay.
I want to say I've seen that before.
You-
Does
you-
that actually get decent?
And they're very,
Yeah, it gets
very
decent reviews.
affordable. The
Or
one
maybe
thing,
it gets
You
decent
tasted their
distribution.
single vineyards. Bishop's Peak comes from a blend of the single vineyards and others.
Okay.
They do what I think is a great thing. They have a particular wine called Mano Tinta, which the proceeds from all the sales of the wine, it's a very popular wine, good drinking wine, a step above an everyday drinking
Yeah.
wine, but all the proceeds of that, from the sales of that wine go towards the health care for all the workers that are working in the fields,
Oh, wow.
Most
picking the
powerful.
grapes, and
That's-
so
That's awesome.
Yeah.
100% of that goes to the farmers, to the migrant workers that are out there.
Cool stuff.
I'm still not
Picking
sure
these
why.
delicious grapes. Yeah.
I'm still not sure why I love this, but it's just my favorite.
Nice. Oh, is it tasting it again out of the whole lineup? This is still your number one?
Yeah, it's
All
one of my
right,
favorites.
all right. No, don't be shy. Yeah. I haven't even tried it.
Distinctly Cabernet on the nose. And then coming from a couple of Syrahs, right, it's very easy to pick out the sort of like, it's,
Again, really earthy. Like I've been
Right.
really impressed with that across all of these.
It's
Like,
earthy.
there's definitely earthy
very
scents,
earthy.
which I don't always get on Cabernet. Like a lot of times, it's just dominated by blackberries that can drift towards syrupy and like some green stem notes. And
Right,
while
I'm
I'm
getting
getting,
like green leaves and there's like a little bit of greenness to the nose, but in a very good
Greenness,
way.
I
Yeah.
haven't thought of that.
kind of like where it
Yeah,
gets me the
where
most
am I
when
going
you
here, yeah.
pick the blackberry and you still got a little bit of the leaf or something on there
Right.
when you eat it. It's just
Yeah.
in the background. And then with like cheap cabs that are poorly put together, it's like you got a 1/4 inch of stem. And you're like, but
Sure,
Yeah.
a little bit, yeah.
that's not what's going on here. This is
No.
like, and the stem kind of drifts into a savory component too, which is kind of like,
Oh, I
boy,
love
just a hint
I
of
love
Worcestershire sauce, which might like, oh man, that sounds terrible in wine. Like, no,
I've never
just
heard that.
just a tiny hint of it with
That's
the
interesting.
dark fruit.
I've never heard that one. Oh, that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
that's where I'm at.
I
That's
like
where I'm at. All right, all right.
Again, with a little hint of tobacco as well, and then like old leather, like a baseball
Oh, yeah.
bat or something
Yep.
like that going
Nice.
on there, which
I
is
get the leather.
yeah,
I definitely get that.
it smells wonderful. Yeah.
Enough Worcestershire sauce, baseball glove would probably taste good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Again, this is another one where you're getting this great evolution, kind of explosion of fruit after you swallow the wine. Man, I love it when that
Stays.
happens. Yeah.
I mean, it
It
changes.
lingers.
does.
It lingers.
What's the
So-
experience like to you? This is your favorite. What's it like when you drink it? What do you think? Or what catches your attention?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, you got. Give me a minute.
All right.
The taste lingers. It's
Is it?
just. It's just.
For me, it's the fruit. I mean, you taste the earth, you taste the fruit. It's balance between the two. You can't compare it to a Napa cab, but it's a cab and it's damn good.
It's really good.
It's really good, and every year in, this is their reserve, and he does a great job. Mike Mooney's the winemaker, and again, he's passionate about it. He babysits these barrels,
And again, a small winery that's just now starting to hit it.
yeah,
hit
they,
it
they do about 3,500 cases.
big.
Wow.
Really, one of the first experiences I ever had with wine that I really enjoyed was a Cabernet that was the first time I'd ever had wine that had no, like typically beforehand I'd had wine that had something wrong with it.
Mhm.
This was the first time I'd had wine that had nothing wrong with it. I just enjoyed every single piece of it, and this is sort of in line with that. Like, the structure is full, the flavor is full, there is noticeable alcohol, but it's all well put together and just easy to drink. Like, the ease of this Cabernet is awesome.
Man.
Yeah, just delicious.
And it starts out, I think, like right when it hits the palate, there's not a whole lot going on. There's like this hint of sour cherries,
That's the right word.
and when you, what? Go ahead.
No, what's
Oh, okay. When you swallow, as it kind of washes across the palate, the fruit just kind of explodes left and right. I'm getting like all this just deep, rich blackberry that's just fantastic. That
Dark
sour
cherry.
cherry sticks through.
Cherry,
Yeah,
yeah.
dark cherries. Man, and maybe a little bit of rhubarb with some acidity sinking into the corners of the palate, and some dark plum skin. So there's this big bunch of like complex fruit that lasts forever after you swallow it. The tannins are there while it's still on the palate, just giving you a little bit of contact. What year is this again? Was this 2008?
06.
06.
Definitely benefiting a little bit from the age there, because the tannins are
Absolutely.
just,
Yep.
they're giving structure, but absolutely no grippiness. They're not
We're
pressing
saving
that.
No
saving
harshness
this.
whatsoever to the structure here.
Yeah.
Even though the acidity is definitely on the higher side of what I typically look for, the feel is just, it's very easy.
Every
That I
single
appreciate.
sip of this, you go through that evolution of like, oh man, this fruit is awesome. Every single time.
So you do like it too?
Totally. This is magnificent.
Okay, so this is.
It's good. So my feeling is like the two bookends
Mm-hmm.
are both really gentle in different ways
Yeah,
on
I'll
the
give you
palate
that.
and balanced. you have some bigger stuff in the middle, and this has some depth to it.
It does, right? And then
It's like-
I'm still tasting it. Like
It's a
20 seconds
combination.
later,
It's a
right?
combination of just, I don't know, just you know, it's hard.
And when you talk about stuff
But
from
it's
hot
the fruit.
places, you think about stuff from like hot places in Spain or Australia where you get like these
This
big
rules.
fruity
But this
flavors, and this is not them because it doesn't have the weight that those places have.
Right.
It's definitely bigger than stuff you're going to get from Oregon. It's bigger than a fair amount of stuff you're going to get from Washington, but it's balanced on the big end. It's not. Yeah, I
Absolutely.
wouldn't describe these as ethereal by any stretch of the imagination. They're giving you what they've
They're
got.
they're right up front with what they are.
And
this
it's
one
awesome.
is.
Man, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
But in
is.
that,
I love
but in
that.
that.
Good deal. Yeah, this is just rock and
Pour
roll.
me some more.
Yeah.
92 plus for me. A
92?
very well done wine. Yes.
I'll give it a 94.
All right.
What about you?
I
A little
will.
more?
Yes, please. 90. What the heck? I will go 94 as well.
Alright.
No, 90. We'll step back. 93,
okay.
but it's still fantastic. Amongst the best Cabernets I've ever had. And you hear me
Whoa.
make, you hear me taking shots at Bordeaux from time to time. I've had good stuff from there. I've had good stuff from Napa and a few other places. But I'm a real sucker for that evolution of fruit, for fruit that kind of like pops up after you already taste what's right in your mouth, and some good acidity to help that linger. Man, this is right up the alley, right up my alley. It's good stuff.
Mike Mooney does a good job, so it's you know, and price point wise, they're all
They're not bad. They're fairly,
good level.
Okay.
Bob, I mean, we're like 40 or like 60 or like.
So
we're pouring, that one
Yeah.
was the Reserve. What was that one? I
So-
can't remember.
just going from memory, we're talking. This is like a $65 bottle.
Okay.
This is 45.
Wow.
Ripping.
Wow.
That's probably
This
35,
is this.
40.
Yeah, this is in the 40 range. This is in
Alright.
the 40 range, if I recall. And this. This is another $60.
Is it?
But for a cab.
For a
But
cab,
That's
that.
and I think these
That's a
deliver
good
value
price for Reserve
at
Cabernet
$60
Sauvignon.
still.
And this is
Yeah.
their
yeah,
high
so
ends that we're serving in this.
all of
not
these
bad
wines
price point.
deliver at the price
Yeah,
point.
for the prices, we think
Not
they're good
kidding.
value.
So and the
Yeah.
thing that's nice. So this is like the king of Chateau Margene. He does a Cab Franc. He also does a Cielo Rosso, which is a red blend, and and then he does a not a reserve, but he also just does a plain Cabernet Sauvignon. So he has a variety, all Rhone varietals pretty much for the most part. Transcendence does a Chardonnay, which is killer. And he does this blend, the Grenache Syrah, then he has a Syrah.
And Talley,
And then I think one more.
Talley does a great Chardonnay.
Talley does a great,
Oh, I can imagine.
interesting.
Based on that,
Totally
you know, I
see
can totally see that.
great
Yeah.
single. I mean, it's,
What am I?
we have some of those.
Oh,
Someday.
yeah.
Someday.
We'll do a white
Someday.
one sometime.
Yes.
We can.
Yeah.
We'll do the whites.
And
Yes, that would be awesome.
And to more talk about like how much we've enjoyed this, like I need to kind of qualify this that like, so these are guys who've been drinking wine from this area for 10 years, pulling what they think is the best of the best right now. Because this is easily the highest scoring show,
Yes.
easily that we've
Crazy.
ever
That's the
Really?
highest I've
no, that
ever
we've
scored.
ever done. Yeah, like it's not even close.
No, thank you.
Really?
No.
So lest this be viewed as disparaging to the stuff that we drink day to day. This is 10 years of experience focused on making an awesome experience right here and now. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing that with us and
Yeah.
for sharing
Yes,
that
it's great.
with those that watch. Like,
And they
I'm
have wines
flabbergasted.
in the lots, and they have a lot of their wines in the less expensive ranges that
Yeah.
are almost just as good. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
and even at these price points, this is
I would recommend all of these to be purchased.
great wine.
honestly.
Yeah. So that's our show.
Great.
As always, we have our guest ask
Man.
a question of you guys to wrap things up. What would you like to know from folks who watch this show?
I'm curious how many people knew about Central Coast wine, San Luis Obispo, Edna Valley. Just if the word is out there. We always felt like it was our secret. And I don't.
I didn't know.
Really?
I mean, I knew it existed,
Paso
but I
Robles.
had no, I had heard, and I had wine from Paso Robles, I guess,
And
but I had
Paso
no
Robles
idea.
probably
that-
has-
Paso gets on the.
Paso
it's on the
Robles
map,
probably
yeah.
has 100 plus now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Would you
Yep.
say? I mean,
see
it's pretty big.
Yep.
But I hadn't heard enthusiasm about wine like this.
No,
But we love them, so.
Yeah.
You know.
smoking.
And we love our Oregon wines too. We're converts, so you
Yeah.
know.
Oregon's
But this
pretty
is
rad.
this is what we cut our teeth on. So
Not a bad way to
All right, thank you, Kevin and Rick.
thanks, Chaz.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you,
Dan.
guys.
Great.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
do it. Hey guys.